Tlön, Uqbar, Orbis Tertius. I've been trying to come up with a way of making a TikTok about Tlön, Uqbar, Orbis Tertius for like 2 years, and I'm never going to figure it out. It's just, I can't come up with a TikTok-y way of explaining this story and why I think it's important. So I'm just going to kind of like verbal diarrhea a pitch to you to do the very difficult and weird and unpleasant work of reading this short story, Tlön, Uqbar, Orbis Tertius by Jorge Luis Borges. It's not an easy thing to read, okay? It's like a pretty tough story to read, but it has become my entire model in my mind, or at least it's like the basis for the model in my mind of how I think of and understand, or try to understand, try to make sense of, try to navigate a world full of fascism and MAGA and kind of like magical type of thinking. Okay, so this is a short story written by Jorge Luis Borges in 1940. It is not an easy read. It's very short. It's like 12 pages long, but the first time I read it, I was like, I don't think I understood that. So I immediately went on YouTube and found like videos of like a bunch of English professors doing their lectures on Tlön, Uqbar, Orbis Tertius, and I went online and tried to find like cliff notes and like essays and that sort of stuff about the story. And it took me like months really to understand it, but if you can power through and do it, it like really is very helpful. Here's the idea. Okay, Tlön, Uqbar, Orbis Tertius. It's a short story about this place, alternate dimension, foreign planet, it's not really clear, called Orbis Tertius. And on Orbis Tertius, all science is considered psychology. It's considered a branch of psychology. Physics is a type of psychology. History is a type of psychology. Chemistry is a type of psychology. Yada, yada, yada. And that sentence isn't meant to make a ton of sense. The rest of the story is trying to get you to understand the ramifications of that sentence. What would it mean to live in a world where all science is a type of psychology? So on Orbis Tertius, the Orbis Tertians are not aware or are not functioning in a way where they understand that there's a real world outside of themselves. They are only filtering everything they see and everything that happens around them and everything through their own experience and observation. They haven't realized that there's an actual physical world that exists outside of them. So like, that thing is a goat, right? And that goat exists, even if I didn't exist, right? If no human had ever existed, we could live in a world where like goats would still exist, right? And the Orbis Tertians wouldn't be able to understand what I just said, because the Orbis Tertians think that like, no, there's a goat because you are perceiving goat, right? So all branches of whatever is a type of psychology. So a lot of people interpret the story, understand the story as a way of Borges trying to get into the mind of fascism, of totalitarian thinking, of narcissism, right? Like, what would it be like to be experiencing the world where you are 100% only filtering everything through your own experience and not clocking that that thing is independent of you? So think about the way that MAGA uses the word invasion. For you and I, invasion means something specific. Invasion means a country shows up with their army at your place and says, okay, your country is now part of our country now, right? Or space aliens come out of the sky and they say, your planet is now our planet. And you don't have any agency anymore. We get to dictate how things run in your planet. That would be an invasion, right? A group of random disorganized people or semi-organized people organizing themselves along the way, caravanning up through Guatemala to come to the United States to try to go through the legal process of asylum seeking, is not an invasion, right? Like, it doesn't click with the way that that word is used. But in the MAGA mind, they will call it an invasion, and they're calling it that because that's what it is to them. It feels like an invasion. It feels like someone is violating the purity of their country or the integrity, sovereignty, or whatever of their own country. So it doesn't matter that it's not like an organized thing coming from another army with an intention to take over. It doesn't matter that. What matters is it makes them feel like invasion. So they say the word invasion. So you and I use language to point to things in the real world. We understand the thing is there anyway, right? And we're using language as a tool to like talk about the thing that's like already there, right? The Orbis Tertians and the MAGA and the fascists and the narcissists, right? It's all the same thing. They're using language differently. They're using language to explain to you how they are experiencing the thing. Okay? So like another great example. Kat Cammack, right? She's a legislator in Florida, right? And she's a Republican lawmaker, anti-abortion. And she got an abortion like sometime last year because she had a pregnancy that was ectopic. She had to have a life-saving abortion. Okay. She insists, though, when she talks to reporters, when she was talking to reporters about it, she insists that the procedure I had was not an abortion. Now, obviously, that's not true, right? Like, an abortion is just any medical procedure that terminates a pregnancy. It doesn't matter why you had it. It's still abortion, right? Like, it's not like there's one type of mifepristone that only works on Christians, and there's a different type that has like a different chemical composition that only works on secular atheist people. It's not like doctors train for how to do conservative abortion, and then they turn around and they learn how to do abortion in a liberal way. It's not like there's a different set of tools. It's not like you go to like one doctor if you're getting an abortion because you don't want the pregnancy, and there's a different one where you have to go if you want it, but you have to terminate it so that you don't die, right? Like, so abortion is abortion. Abortion is just anything that terminates a pregnancy. But when Kat Cammack says, well, the thing I had wasn't an abortion, what she's demonstrating is, for her, the word abortion means a termination of a pregnancy that I, Kat Cammack, personally do not feel is justifiable, right? She's literally doing what the Orbis Tertians do, right? She's using abortion as an adjective when it's a noun. Like, it's affecting, it's not, an adjective is describing like the quality of something, right? Perceived or like empirical, doesn't matter, like, right? But a noun is a thing that exists even if you don't exist. Like the way that Kat Cammack is using that word, it's like if Kat Cammack never lived, that thing may or may not have been an abortion, right? Like, she's living with a mentality where she has to decide whether or not the thing is, like, it doesn't matter if I think, like, if I call these things dogs, that doesn't make them dogs, no matter how convinced I am they're dogs. Tlön, Uqbar, Orbis Tertius. So I highly recommend giving a shot at reading it, because I think about that story like every fucking day these days. I really do.